Uh, Mr. President, may I begin my interpellation by a short manifestation or rejoinder for that matter, considering that my interpellation was cut short yesterday. May I proceed, Mr. President? Mr. President, my interpellation yesterday was not intended to weaken our national position on our sovereignty, on our sovereign rights, but to strengthen it through clarity. Because in matters of sovereignty, maritime rights, and territorial claims, precision is patriotism. Ang layunin ko po dito, Mr. President, ay hindi upang ipagtanggol ang anumang banyagang interes, katulad ng China, kundi para patatagin at linawin ang ating paninindigan bilang isang bansa, upang kahit karaniwang mamamayan ay lubos na maintindihan ang sitwasyon, lalo na sa West Philippine Sea. Dahil ang pagtatanggol sa bayan ay nagsisimula sa pag-unawa at katotohanan. The purpose of my questions yesterday, Mr. President, was to point out gaps in our understanding and knowledge of the West Philippine Sea, in that there are key aspects that the arbitral award did not resolve, and that our laws from PD 1596 to RA 9522 and RA 1264 did not address. Thus, my call is for an open discussion of the issues as mature, not amateur persons. Today, the purpose of my questions is to demonstrate why we need to recalibrate our approach in order to bring immediate and concrete benefits to the people. Our method must be focused on bringing food to the tables and alleviating the burdens of our people. In his response yesterday, Mr. President, the good senator said the coastline of Kalayaan Island Group has its own baselines and generated an exclusive economic zone. Mr. President, this response violates the arbitral award, which declared in paragraph 626, the tribunal having concluded that none of the high tide features in the Spratly Islands is capable of sustaining human habitation or an economic life in their own, that such features shall have no exclusive economic zone or continental shelf. Kaya po walang feature sa Kalayaan Island Group, Mr. President, that will be able to generate an exclusive economic zone of its own. Again, in his response yesterday, Mr. President, Senator Pangilinan said there is no need to define the metes and bounds of the West Philippine Sea because this was already settled by the arbitral award. He also said that the arbitral award already determined what the West Philippine Sea is. He also said that the coordinates of the West Philippine Sea can be found in Administrative Order number 29 and Republic Act number 12064. This is not right, Mr. President. The arbitral award ruled on the exclusive economic zone, not the West Philippine Sea. These are two different matters, Mr. President. There are features of the Kalayaan Island Group, such as the Pagasa Island and Parola Island, that are outside this exclusive economic zone. The distance of these features are fixed, Mr. President. The arbitral award did not move their location inside the Philippines. Ang alam ko po, ang Panginoon Diyos lang ang makakagawa noon, Mr. President. In saying also, Mr. President, that we should just implement the arbitral award without asking questions will mean that Senator Pangilinan will be content with just the EEZ. Kapag ka nagkaganon, Mr. President, we will be abandoning Pag-asa, Parola, Kota, and Lankian features, given that these are outside the exclusive economic zone. Instead of turning back on these features, Mr. President, I call that we study how to include them in the West Philippine Sea without violating UNCLOS. Also, in his response yesterday, Senator Pangilinan said the arbitral award did not rule on the validity of PD 1596. This is also incorrect. It will be read on paragraphs 573 to 576 that Spratly Islands can constitute, it ruled on the issue of whether any claimant on the Spratly Islands can constitute it into an offshore archipelago by drawing archipelagic baselines to straight baselines around it. Sabi po ng tribunal, Mr. President, China has no right to do so. It also said under paragraph 574 that even the Philippines could not declare archipelagic baseline surrounding the Spratly Islands. So meron pong ruling talaga. I did not question the arbitral award, Mr. President, for the record. I just discussed how the arbitral award and our existing laws do not determine the limits of the West Philippine Sea. May I repeat that? Ang nirule lamang po ng arbitral award via the arbitral tribunal, yung exclusive economic zone, hindi po yung West Philippine Sea. These are two different matters. In his response yesterday, Mr. President, Senator Pangilinan quoted the figure 500,000 square kilometers from Justice Carpio's book. Yet in Justice Carpio's decision in the Supreme Court in the case of Magallona versus Ermita, Mr. President, he quoted the government figure that the total area of Philippine EEZ is not 500,000 square kilometers, but only 382,669 square kilometers. If in his book, Justice Carpio included the Philippine rice in his computation, that is also questionable. Para kasing ang nangyari, parang sinama po nila yung Philippine rice. Nobody can claim the waters above Philippine rice.
Bullet points lang.
Those are high seas, Mr. President. Nobody can claim Philippine rice. This is not a territory. As the Philippines cannot claim them, neither China can. What the Philippine applied and registered for is the exclusive right to exploit the Philippine rice, Mr. President. The only way for China to grab the right is to apply and register with the United Nations. China did not oppose our application in the Philippine rice. It has not applied for that right until now, Mr. President. For her part, Senator Ontiveros, Mr. President, yesterday referred to the map of South China Sea in S-23 as Chinese map. She also said that the numbers 6.1 and 6.2 are not coordinates. She then said that maps adopted by the International Hydrographic Organization are not legal but technical only. First, Mr. President, S-23 is not a Chinese publication. It is a publication of the International Hydrographic Organization, or IHO. IHO is an intergovernmental organization of which the Philippines is a part. Second, as the note written beside the map says, the numbers 6.1 and 6.2, etc., refer to the chapter or sections where the coordinates of the bodies of waters can be found in S-23. Hence, the coordinates of South China Sea are listed in chapter 6.1. On the map, Mr. President, the coordinates are the points that are connected by red lines. Finally, S-23 is not meant to be a legal title. Tama naman po yun. They are just maps. Under international law on territorial disputes, maps have no evidentiary value. However, S-23 was used by the Philippines in the South China Sea arbitration. Moreover, we need to put West Philippine Sea on an internationally recognized map. Let me begin now, Mr. President, by showing two maps. Pwedeng pakilagay yung first map. Mr. President, these maps are about oil and gas activities in the South China Sea. On both maps, you will see squares and rectangles. They represent oil and gas blocks that have either been merely offered or already licensed and operating. Please bear in mind, Mr. President, that each square and rectangle represent foreign investments running in the millions and to billions of dollars. Moreover, basins with oil and gas are found on the coastal and central areas. Finally, China and Vietnam have exchanged gunfire, suffered casualties, blasted each other with water cannons, cut cables, rammed vehicles, and so on and so forth. China and Malaysia had a naval standoff. Hence, the territorial and maritime disputes between them are just as explosive. Map 1, Mr. President, was published by New York Times in 2013. It cited a source, the U.S. Office of Hydrographer. In Map 1, Mr. President, you will see gray squares and rectangles along the shallow coast of the South China Sea. Notice that adjacent to the Philippine coast are around 5 to 6 blocks. On the side of Malaysia, there are 12 to 15. Vietnam, 30 to 35. And China, approximately that number also, 30 to 35. Then we go to Map 2. It was published in 2024 by the U.S. Energy Information Agency. First, you will notice the blocks have moved to the deep water areas. Second, the blocks colored in pink are those of the Philippines. Ang mga blocks po ay halos 8 hanggang 12 lang, Mr. President. Malaysia in blue, around 60 to 70. Vietnam in maroon, 70 to 80. And China in yellow, around 60. Third, notice the blocks that are not just claimed, but even licensed by both Vietnam and China. These are shaded in orange. I hope, Mr. President, the good senator will agree that from these maps, we derive numerous lessons. First, despite the arbitral award, oil and gas activities on the Philippine side have stagnated. 6 to 8 lang. Second, it is obvious that the oil and gas activities of Malaysia, China, and Vietnam are robust, if not booming. Third, the licensing overlaps are being managed by experts at the enterprise and state levels. Hence, we hear about flare-ups between China and Vietnam, but they do not escalate. In fact, some of the overlapping blocks are operated by one international petroleum corporation. Fourth, even as their past relations are violent and the present relations are also tense because of the conflicting claims to Spratly Islands and Paracel, they engage in joint exploration and development, Mr. President. Fifth, Vietnam and Malaysia are cooperating and progressing with China. Nobody can accuse them of being pro-China.